Hey, how you doing? Daniel Frankson, your Atlanta real estate resource, and I'm coming to you with video number 2 in the series, the 9 steps of listing your home. So as I mentioned, this is video number 2. So if you saw video number 1, we discussed the importance of hiring the right realtor. Not all realtors, necessarily have the experience or skill set to be a successful listing agent. Some of us are excellent at working with buyers. Some of us have that key skill set to work with sellers and successfully list and sell homes. So you want to be sure to hire the right realtor. So if you haven't seen that video, be sure to go and check it out. But this particular video, step number 2 in the process, now that you've secured your realtor, this is also a very imperative step, and that is in making sure that you price your home correctly. Very, very underrated step, but critical. If this step goes wrong, it could be the difference between your house selling within 30 days or your house sitting on the market for 6+ months, right? So pricing your home correctly is imperative. So in order to do this, now that you've secured your realtor, you guys want to have a pretty detailed discussion about the comparative sales, the comparative homes around your particular property. What did those homes sell for? What were the criteria of those homes? How does it match up to your home? How many days did they sit on the market? Did they have a lot of showings? Were there any special features or characteristics about those homes that would have helped them to sell relatively quickly? Other factors, did they have basements? Does your home have a slab? So there are a variety of things that you and your realtor want to discuss and understand in order to make sure that you're pricing your home correctly, right? The other thing is you want to know what your payoff amount is. So this is for folks that have a mortgage on their property, which is the vast majority of homeowners, right? So if you have a mortgage on your property, you want to know how much it's going to cost to pay that mortgage off at the time of closing. So that's called your payoff amount. This is important because it's going to help you to start determining what your potential takeaway from the sale would be. So a quick example. Let's say that based on comps, the comparative homes in the area, you can list and sell your home for about $500,000. And let's assume that you have a payoff amount of $380,000. So right there, you'd see that there's a difference of about $120,000 between the $500,000 potential sales price and the $380,000 that's still owed to the bank, the mortgage holder. So that sounds pretty good. Bear in mind, in the state of Georgia, commission is typically paid by the seller. So that's an expense that you would have to plan and budget for as well. Depending on your realtor, you'd have a more detailed discussion about what that commission amount is, what that percentage is. And then what you'd want to do is determine that figure and then subtract that from the overall number, right? The other thing I would say that you want to contemplate is, does your home have any repairs? Either repairs that you're going to do before going on the market or anticipated repairs that you may have to make after a buyer does a home inspection. So you want to have a budget to deal with those things as well. Depending on the condition of the home, it may be some level of renovation that may be necessary, but that's a case-by-case scenario. So your payoff amount, you want to factor in all of the your expenses, so commission, any repairs, and then you also want to take into consideration, is a buyer going to try and negotiate to have you as a seller contribute any money towards their closing costs? So that's an important factor to determine as well. I'll give you a quick example there. You're listed for $500,000 and you get 2 offers. Buyer number 1 presents you an offer of $500,000, but they're asking you to contribute $15,000 towards their closing costs. Buyer number 2 offers you $490,000, but they are asking for 0 contribution towards their closing costs. Who would you say has the better offer? Buyer 1 or buyer 2? Give you a couple seconds to think about it. In that particular scenario, buyer 2's offer actually comes out to be a stronger offer for you as a seller, right? Buyer one, even though they offered you 500,000, the fact that they're asking you to pay 15,000 towards their closing costs, when you subtract that from the overall, what you end up with is 485,000 net. Whereas buyer number two was offering you 490,000, not asking for any money in closing costs. So that would net you 5,000 higher than buyer number one. So things like this are always important to understand and know up front. So when you put that strategy together with myself or another realtor of your choosing, you would have a good sense of what you're able to sell for and what you can actually walk away from the closing table with. So again, step number one, you want to hire the right realtor to help you through the sales process. Again, my name is Daniel Frankson. I think I'm the right guy, but you know, I leave that up to you to determine. And step number two, you want to take a deep dive, look at the comps, and prepare strategically to get a good sense of what you can list your home for on the market for sale. Keep in mind, you never want to list too high because you can end up sitting for longer. The longer that your listing sits, it becomes stale, the less money you're gonna make. And of course, we never want to list too low and leave money on the table. So this is a very critical step. Again, feel free to like, share, subscribe. I think something about a notification bell. If you hit that, you know when I post another video. So this is step number 2 of the 9-part series. I'll chat with you guys in the next segment where we discuss the next step in the the selling process. All right, Daniel Frankson, talk to you guys soon.